Hey there, friends. Dave Paulides, Canadian Missing Project, copyrighted edition for our video channel. And we're on scene at the South Fork of the Flathead River, just below Hungry Horse Reservoir. Pretty nice day. It's supposed to rain this afternoon, but I wanted to get out and show you guys what it'll look like today and give you a little different perspective of Montana. But the water level here is the highest I've seen it in a long time, several years. And this water is pretty clear. It's coming out of the reservoir, but about 3 miles down from here, where this South Fork meets the North Fork, where the two rivers come together and it goes through Columbia Falls, it is the highest I have seen it in a really long time. So for June, all the water levels are running high and hard and fast. But it's beautiful here, as you can see, gorgeous. The other side of the river, that would be Columbia Mountain. This is a special edition. I'm not going to really focus on news, missing people, just kind of a conglomeration of some miscellaneous stuff that I'm going to throw at you that hopefully you'll like. First thing I'm going to talk to you about is every once in a while when I am researching missing people, I'll come across an article that's pretty interesting. And this one is from September 2nd, 1886. And it's from the Cincinnati Commercial Gazette. And the date line is Butler, Ohio. And it says, Butler, Ohio has been in a feverish state of agitation since last Sunday by the report of a monster snake that has been seen in the immediate vicinity. Last Sunday, Nick Corlin, one of the oldest and most esteemed citizens, and whose veracity is unquestioned, went about a mile out of town in search of a lost pig. And as he was passing through a thicket of blackberry bushes, his attention was attracted by some cattle that were rushing frantically toward the river. And on searching for the cause of the strange action of the cattle, his attention was called to a strange whirring, W-H-I-R-R-I-N-G, whirring noise in the bushes behind him. And on looking around, was almost paralyzed by the sight of an immense monster of the snake species. It was of a dark brown color with a flat head and at least 25 feet long. It was standing with its head about 10 feet from the ground, waving from one side to the other in an excited manner. Corbin suddenly thought of some business in town that needed his attention. He succeeded in getting away without attracting the monster's attention, and with all the speed he could command, he rushed to Butler and spread the report. And the people, having the utmost confidence in his veracity, armed themselves with guns, clubs, and other weapons, and went handy at about 4 p.m. and about 75 men started for the place where the snake had been seen. The place was surrounded, and with utmost precaution, led by Uncle Nick, the men gradually closed in. But no snake, but there was an unmistakable sign of its having been there a short time before. And after searching for a short time, a trail, which looked as if a log had been drawn on the ground, was found leaning towards the Ohio River. Several men followed the trail till dark set in and then returned to town. It is thought by a great many to be the snake so often seen by residents of Moscow, Ohio, as the trail led in that direction. The excitement has not been subsided, and berries are going to be wasted in the community, whatever that meant. But I thought, wow, I've never heard of a snake that big being in Ohio. And interesting story. You never know what you're going to come across in some of these articles. Now, the next thing, a little different, is Christie made a tweet the other day. And I thought it was fast. Well, it wasn't just the other day. It was March 1st, 2022. And this is what Christie said, which I thought was pretty interesting. It said, the Biden administration is leaving 500,000 barrels of oil a day in the ground in North Dakota. He should announce tonight authorizing Doug Burgum and North Dakota to restore that production, and we would have no need for Russian oil. That's a real solution for Americans. Here's an actual copy of the tweet. that Christie made. I have no idea of the truth behind it, but he made it, so I thought I'd share it with you. Next thing. MUFON Journal this month had a headline that said human ERAs and the depiction of aliens. I've talked to you before that our understanding of the news and our paradigm of the news is formed by us being impacted by various stories and newsmen that we trust. I think aliens is the same thing. Certain people believe aliens look like a certain thing. Certain people believe aliens are good. Some believe they're bad. I believe they're just like people. I think they're all over the gamut. To think that there's billions of planets in our universe and there isn't a couple of bad apples there doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But certain people out there that are watching this believe that they're all good. And there's certain people that continually push that agenda on the American and world public. How do they know they're all good? Doesn't really make sense to me how they can claim that, but what I'm asking of you to is apply some common sense, number one. Number two, be a critical thinker. And number three, how could you say everything from anything is all the same? That's all I ask. Now, in that same, this month's MUFON Journal, which is the newsletter of MUFON that comes out, they have a UFO activity report. And it's worldwide sightings that they believe are the most credible. Now, this month's, they had, the first one is what it says, triangular objects photographed in the sky. It says a woman from Yelm, Washington reported seeing bright light clusters in the sky when she took pictures. She could see many of the lights were arrayed in triangles, according to her testimony in case number 120592. The woman and her husband and daughter were outside of their house for 10 minutes at 9:15 p.m. on January 28th. In CMS, the reporting witness states, watching stars with my husband and daughter, I noted some bright clusters. And my husband also noticed them and asked if I saw them. I took the pictures in my phone and images of how many triangular-shaped objects were there. So MUFON sends investigators out. You talk to the people, you kind of see the time, etc., and you want to see if it's related to planets or anything else that could be explained. Next case, headlines, multicolored UFO videoed over California. A woman in Hayward, California reported seeing a glowing aerial craft which she videoed, according to testimony submitted to MUFON. The reporting witness and her husband were outside their house on a porch at 6:39 a.m. on January 16th, 2022, when the incident began. So Hayward is in the Bay Area, probably about 20 miles south of Oakland, on the east side of the Bay Area. Her detailed description in CMS provides the particulars. The craft appeared from the southwest and flew to the northwest in a straight line to the northwest flight pattern. It was a glowing like an orb and slightly flickering with no sound and no trail. It was going into the clouds and out of clouds towards the full moon. The airspace colors were just gold and white and light with some lavender pinkish and rose-colored light, not like a conventional aircraft. My spouse is an airplane mechanic and we both agree it was no conventional aircraft. That's some pretty good witness testimony right there. Then they had a case out of Kentucky. A Hopkinsville, Kentucky man reported seeing an object that hovered above the ground, had three bright lights and a red flashing rearward light, and moved around according to a testimony. The lights were in a chevron shape. The witness said his car was driving and stopping at about 6:09 p.m. January 26th. He said, I watched the craft hover over woodland vegetation as though its three brighter lights were aligned in field lights. Okay. Then there was a box-shaped object photographed over Texas. A man and a woman in San Antonio reported seeing a bright object that stayed still and then moved around according to testimony. The witnesses were in the house at 1:40 p.m. on February 5th when their children who were playing outside drew their attention to a starlight in the sky. So, why do I read you those? Well, there's hundreds of these reports that come into MUFON every month from around the world. And the investigators go out and they try to understand what the witnesses possibly saw and come up with an explanation. If they can't, then it's unknown. But some of the stories in the MUFON magazine are very interesting. And I encourage you to join MUFON and get the newsletter and really understand what that group is all about. So, this was a short special edition. I just want people to become aware of some of the unusual things that we'll find around here. I find some really unusual articles every now and then. And I will start bringing those to you, and I'll talk to you about them, just like I did today. I really appreciate you being here. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the kind things that you guys say in your videos. I'll be bringing more of the Huck Chronicles to you in the future. And in the meantime, I'm going to do a little scan here to allow you to see what I see here. And some of the mountains around here. The river. Like I said, the clarity's pretty good right now, but as the water level goes down, the clarity will double and triple here to 20, 30 feet. And this is the view downstream. The power that you see is coming from the dam that generates the power. I've heard a lot of strange things on this mountain in all the times I've been here, but it's a beautiful place. I enjoy being here. And I wanted to get you guys back outdoors again. Again, the South Fork of the Flathead River, just outside of Columbia Falls, Montana. You guys be safe and have a great weekend.